Nature has no coincidences, even when you think you are alone. The river that watches. The river was calm, too calm. The water didn't ripple or reflect the sun. It lay there as a dark, smooth ribbon, like glass stretched between the banks. Leia stopped on the wooden bridge and looked down. It was impossible to gauge the depth. The river refused to show its bottom, as if hiding it on purpose. She came here every summer, the tiny village, her grandmother's old house, the kind of silence that made her ears ring at first, then made it easier to breathe. There was no cell service here, cars rarely passed, and in the evenings, nature seemed to slow down. But today, something was off. The feeling had started that morning, a sense of a foreign presence. It wasn't fear, but a feeling of being watched, as if something were observing her and not bothering to hide. Leia climbed down to the shore. The grass was matted and damp, even though it hadn't rained in days. She whispered that it was strange, but her words drowned in the air. At the water's edge, she noticed footprints, bare, human prints. They led straight into the river and did not return. Leia froze. She tried to convince herself that someone had just gone for a swim, but the water was icy even in summer, and the locals never went in. Everyone knew the river doesn't like it when people enter for no reason. The old folks spoke of it in whispers, as if the water itself could hear. They said it takes those who stare for too long. Leia knelt down and peered into the still surface, and then the water moved. Not a wave, not a splash, but as if something beneath the surface had slowly rolled over. She scrambled back, her heart hammering against her ribs. She told herself it was nonsense, but the sensation only intensified. Now, eyes were on her. Leia stood up and walked quickly along the bank. Her steps felt too loud. The birds were silent, the insects too. A few meters later, she saw footprints again, the same bare prints. Now they were walking alongside her own. Leia stopped and called out, but only silence answered. The water near the shore shivered again. A chill ran down her spine. She turned to leave and heard a splash. Someone was stepping out of the water, slowly, without a sound. The figure stopped knee-deep in the river. It was a woman with long, wet hair hiding her face. Her skin was too pale, as if the sun hadn't touched it in a long time. The woman said that Leia had been looking for too long. The voice was steady and calm, just like Leia's own. Leia whispered that she was leaving. The woman tilted her head and said it was already too late. The water around her legs began to rise, as if the river were breathing. She asked if Leia had heard the river calling, first quietly, then from within. Leia realized she couldn't move, as if her feet had taken root in the ground. The woman said that Leia was tired, that the river knows how to hold and preserve. She took a step forward, and Leia saw her own face, exact, familiar, but with empty, deep eyes, like the river itself. Leia whispered for her not to look and closed her eyes. Cold water touched her ankles, then rose higher and higher. The next day, locals found neatly folded clothes and shoes on the shore. The tracks led to the water and vanished. And in the evening, as the sun touched the horizon, the river became smooth, dark, and calm once again. And if anyone held their gaze for too long, the water would begin to move ever so slightly, as if someone inside had recognized them.